Hello, Mr. and Mrs. America. How are you? A lot of fireworks on Capitol Hill. And you know what? The confirmation hearings for Mike Huckabee were not even covered by anybody except C-SPAN. I watched it. And the Democrats are just disgusting. It's like they're special pleaders, special representatives for Hamas. It's incredible. Like our media. We're going to want to get into that. We're going to want to get into some of the phony outrage about that call and signal. Oh, yes, the phony outrage. We'll be getting into that, too. And we're going to have a guest in the second hour. You may have heard of him, Jim Jordan. We're going to talk about ideas on what to do about the federal judiciary. We're going to have a guest in hour 3, a good friend, Steve Hilton. I don't know if we're going to have time to do everything, so we're going to get started now. I'm going to start with something you didn't hear today. Now, when Mike Huckabee was giving his testimony, multiple times, Code Pink protesters in the back were viciously attacking him. Viciously. Tom Cotton, who was just a tremendous senator, one of my favorite, just tremendous. I want you to listen to this, because this was sort of the flavor of what was taking place. Huckabee being heckled by Code Pink, and quite frankly, by Democrat senators. Cut one, go.
Stop funding Israel! Stop funding Israel! Stop funding Israel! Stop funding Israel!
So that protester was a Code Pink lunatic, saying the greatest threat to world peace is funding Israel. I will observe, for the benefit of the audience here on television, that Code Pink is funded by communist China as well, which simply illustrates, speak up now if you want to be removed as well, whoever's saying that. If anyone else would like to join them, speak now, please, so we don't have any more disruptions. As I was saying, the fact that communist China funds Code Pink, which interrupts a hearing like this about Israel, simply illustrate Director Gabbard's point that China, Russia, Iran, North Korea, and other American adversaries are working in concert to a greater degree than they ever have before.
That last point is very important. Our intelligence agencies working with the White House, Pentagon, and so forth, and Tulsi Gabbard. These 4 countries, China, Iran, Russia, North Korea, are working together in ways they've never worked together before. We are the enemy. It's not Israel. It's not NATO. The fools, the buffoons, the morons. Get out of NATO. Get out of Israel. We're the enemy. Their focus is on us. The other areas don't really matter. The focus is on us. Now, I want to bring this down to, and we'll discuss this other aspect later, these 2 big hearings. But I want to go to Mike Huckabee, because nobody has even covered this. And it's very important. This is a remarkable man, in my view, and he's also a man of deep faith, very decent man. You know, when he was running for president, there was Romney. A lot of conservatives backed Romney. Several years ago, when I had him on Life, Liberty, and Levin, before he went on the program, I pulled him aside and said, I want to apologize to you, because the truth is you were by far the better candidate, the conservative. And he was so gracious. So gracious. I think I've apologized to politicians probably 3 in my life. 3 in my life. Hey, look, when you're wrong, you're wrong. That's the bottom line. You got to man up. But here he is at his confirmation hearing to be the ambassador to the state of Israel. Cut 12, go.
Chairman Risch and Ranking Member Shaheen, distinguished members of the committee, I want to say thank you very, very much for giving me the privilege of coming to...
You know, I'll just comment here. The hate for Jews is just so unbelievable. It's so sickening. It's just sickening. I blame the Democrat Party. I blame the media. I blame our immigration, lack of immigration standards. I blame our colleges and universities. We have more people here from the Middle East. The President of the United States is trying to remove them, particularly the ones who are voices for supporters of terrorism. We go through this joke of this court system that pretends they're not, that pretends they have the same rights as American citizens. It's just absolutely sickening to watch what's taking place here. The president's trying to fix this, and the Biden, Obama, Clinton judges won't let him. Now, I have to tell you, if you're an American Jew, this is stunning. It is shocking. And even if you're not an American Jew, you can get a sense for what takes place in the Middle East, for what took place in the 1930s. I'm not going to candy coat this. This is why I'm so grateful for people of other faiths, especially Christianity, who stand by Israel and stand by the Jews, because they know they stand with themselves too if they don't. That we're all the targets. But it's just okay to trash Jews. It's okay to trash Jews on college campuses. In a hearing like today, they play games about neocons and don't you care about the lives of Palestinians and all this other stuff. It's very simple. If Hamas hadn't attacked Israel, nobody would have killed a single Palestinian. Would they? We're not fighting the Houthis, potentially Iran, because of Israel and the Jews. 319 times our military vessels and our commercial vessels were attacked by the Houthis. 319 times. If there wasn't a single Jew in the Middle East, which is the hope of these people, if there wasn't a single Jew in the Middle East, those are acts of war against the United States of America. Period. That's it. Iran getting a nuclear warhead to put on intercontinental missiles is a threat to the United States of America. Period. That's it. Case closed. But the Jew haters are coming out of the woods. They're coming out of the closets. And the righteous Gentiles, I want to thank you. The righteous Gentiles who stand with us and I stand with them. You heard about the stories. The worst time of the Holocaust. Christian families taking in Jews and trying to hide them, putting their lives on the line. Raoul Wallenberg, Schindler, many, many more. Baranski, Tibor Baranski. You ever hear of him? He was a Romanian. He saved several thousand Jews. He worked with the Catholic Church. He was employed by the Catholic Church. He was considering becoming a priest. I know Tibor Baranski. I knew him. I knew his wife. I know his children. And his daughter, Kathy Baranski, worked for me when I worked for Ed Meese and Ronald Reagan at the Department of Justice. They would have been executed on the spot. On the spot. Wallenberg disappeared. The Soviets got a hold of him. Obviously, they killed him. The least we can do, folks, is speak out against this. There are hearings for protests and everything, but you don't have hearings where people are yelling at minorities, yelling about minorities, that the minorities got to get out of the country, that they're killing everybody else. But you hear it about Jews. It's a non-story now. It's like it doesn't even happen. Wasn't even covered today on TV. Not a word of it. Not a word of it. We've got judges who act like these Hamas-supporting, terrorist-supporting aliens who migrate to our country, who are trying to overthrow the campuses and our country, quite frankly, working with the Marxists. They act like they're Rosa Parks or Martin Luther King. They're scum. They're scum. The things they say, the things they promote. And they work with terrorist scum like CARE, like Students for Justice in Palestine. All front groups in our country. Mike Huckabee, it is confirmation. Cut 13, go.
I cannot imagine under any circumstances that any right-minded person would find it acceptable to support or to even acknowledge that there was justification in any way for the massacre of innocent civilians on October the 7th. If I'm confirmed, I will be absolutely clear to carry the president's policies. They have been clear that Hamas will have no future in Gaza.
Let's stop right there. Do you understand that? The underlings to President Trump. Do you understand what your orders are? You seem to love TV. You love to talk, all these guys and gals. The president has said no. Stop undermining the president. Stop usurping the president. He's trying to get the terrorist lovers the hell out of the country. He's met with a number of Jews who were taken hostage. He's taken a direct interest in this. He does not want Hamas running Gaza. So it's about time people stop undermining him. He's got a moral compass. Apparently some people don't. Go ahead.
It was not simply a cold-blooded murder in which people came across the borders and shot innocent people. They massacred them. And they did it in the way that was most physically painful and in the way that was most personally humiliating. And worse, they videotaped themselves doing it because they were proud of it. And they published it with pride. And they announced repeatedly that they would do it again. Hamas is not a government. It's not a standing army. It is a terrorist organization, and they acted like it. And they must be treated as such. And if confirmed, I would hope that this unfortunate, horrific war that has resulted in many, many deaths, including Americans, the taking of hostages for a longer period of time than even the hostages in 1979 were taken during the Iranian takeover, that all of that could come to an end and there could be accountability for what was done to Jewish people on October the 7th of 2023.
Mm-hmm. Nobody got to hear that on network TV or cable TV. It was on C-SPAN. Mr. Producer pulled it. There's more about this hearing, another hearing about the texting scandal. Ooh.